Hey everybody, we're back again with the Johnny and Gene Show, another episode. Felix is still not back with us. He decided to go to the Bahamas now, so he'll be back after his vacation in prison. He went away for a weekend, and you'll be seeing him shortly. So we've been getting a lot of messages about writing and talking about scores that we did and how to set them up. It was one of the questions, so we're gonna talk about that today. And Gene's going to talk to you about one of his scores, and and I'll ask him a couple questions as he goes through about a score he did. So, Gene, lead us to one of them, and we'll talk about that and go from there.
Well, like for instance, like I tell everybody, it's mostly tips. We don't do random robberies. It's usually when you're hitting somebody, you know the layout, you know what's going to be there 9 out of 10 times. A lot of times people knew I worked for the mob and I had a robbery team. Everybody knew that about me. And I had a dangerous robbery team. We were labeled as a violent gang, whatever they wanted to call us. We were robbing gangsters, wise guy, captains, drug dealers. We didn't care who it was. If you had what we wanted, we were coming for it. One score I'll give you, for instance, we hit a big drug dealer. And it just so happened that we knew a guy next to the drug dealer, and he had owed us a favor. And basically, we threatened him with that favor, and he ultimately gave us the kid's location, where he was living, the layout of the house, what was in there, who would be there, dogs, the whole situation. Then we start to do our own homework. We then sit on the person. Sometimes we put tracking devices on the car to watch, see if he has a stash house. He might drop off over here. We go to all check the locations. We'll see who he comes out with. It's actually a lot of work. People don't understand that, but it pays off a lot of times because we're hitting guys for $200,000-$300,000, sometimes even more. A lot of times when I'm doing a home invasion on a drug dealer, a gangster, whatever, we like to have a guy outside with a scanner. Usually 2 guys go in, and we'll have another car where we're going to switch everything into to get away. To switch all the stolen merchandise and the guns, he'll go with the stuff, and so we don't have nothing on us when we're leaving the scene. And that would be a particular one home invasion we did, particularly just like that, and that would be a layout basically
Right.
of a situation, right? And you want me to give the story of when we robbed them?
No, we'll go back and forth, and we'll see what somebody. Let me go to the next thing that somebody asked me about,
right?
And then we'll go back to how you robbed them,
right,
and what you did. Somebody asked me, how do you go about whether it's a hit or a robbery, and
right.
What we do. It's easy for anybody just to run in somewhere like a wild man, but you're going to get caught on a shooting or on a hit. So everything is patience. So for people, there's no hurry when you do these things. And I explain this to regular everyday citizens. So I'm going to talk about something to protect whether you're a young girl or a woman and a boyfriend that go on a train on a regular basis. If they're doing something at their job where they're carrying something that's worth money, don't think people randomly hit you. They know who you are. They see you on a train. And I'll give you an example. It's patience. So if you're on a train, and we're going to use the 8 train on Liberty Avenue going into the city, you get off a certain spot. So if somebody's following you from the city, they get on a train, they don't get on the same car, and they wait to see what stop you're getting off. So if you're going to Manhattan and you're getting off the Rockaway stop, they know you're at the Rockaway stop. Now, then there's the second time they surveil you, they're going to wait at the Rockaway stop for you. And they know you're going to either walk to a parking lot and get your car, or you're going to be walking a certain amount of blocks. They'll follow you for 3 or 4 blocks and then turn off if they think that maybe you think they're following you. If you're getting in a car, they're going to see where you park your car, and they're going to get your plate. And then they'll try to run your plate. After that second time that they follow you, 3 or 4 blocks, they'll come back. Now they're waiting at the time that you come at 3 or 4 blocks. If that's 5:30, now they're at that location. And they're waiting inside their car, or they're smoking a cigarette, they're taking a walk. And when you walk past, they follow you another 2 or 3 blocks, wherever you're going, and they'll drop you there. And then the 4th time, they'll close in on you, get where you live. If it's the car that you're taking, they'll follow your car to a certain spot, and now they know you're leaving that area. The next time they have somebody at that spot with a radio or a telephone, they tell them you just left the spot. And when they leave the spot, you don't follow with that car. You have another car down the block that'll tail that car, and he'll follow you a couple of blocks also, and they'll do that 2 or 3 times till they get your house location. And now they have the ability to hit you from when you get to your car or when you're walking to your house to where you start your track. And that's how guys usually get hit, killed, or robbed, depending on what they're, if they're moving drugs, if they're moving jewelry, if they're legal, legit people. So, it's not a one-time thing, random. And usually some of these kids from the neighborhood that are robbing houses and things, they do the same basic thing. They watch your schedule before they just run up on a house. They see if you have dogs. They see if you have kids. They see if you have tenants, alarm systems. And, so you got to safeguard yourself to some of these pitfalls I just talked about.
Also, to help protect you, ADT. People get scared off ADT. So get it. They do. Nobody wants to go near it with ADT, I can tell you that.
So kick it back to when you actually did the robbery now.
The actual robbery, so like I said, we would sit, me and my partner, a lot of guys know who he is, I won't say his name. We would sit, we do a lot of homework on you, and usually, like I said, it's a plan. When we have the day we want to hit you, it could go wrong. You know what I mean? So if you're coming out the house, we know when you're going to come out, and the neighbor could come out, walking the dog at the same time. It's happened to us so many times where you might have to go back to a robbery. Instead of it being a week job, it could be a month job.
Yeah.
But it pays off.
Yeah.
We always said that, and we did it in high-end cars a lot of times. So nobody was really looking at us. Yeah. We'd be in a brand new Mercedes-Benz or a brand new, at the time, Audi, and nobody would have a clue that we're sitting on you to, tie you up in your house and rob you. So that's how a lot of times we did it. On one particular robbery, we did it like that. The guy exited his house. We jumped on him. We watched him come home from a nightclub, and we knew he was home alone. We already got the tip, and we pushed him in his house. We used zip ties. We zip tied him, and basically, whenever I talk in there, I always make it clear to him like this: look, I'm not here to hurt you. We know what you got. We want your money and your jewelry. That's who we're here for, and the drugs. That's it. If you're not going to give it to us, we're going to make you give it to us. You know what I mean? So, particularly we did with this kid, he did not put up a fight, and we walked out with like $200,000 cash and like $150,000 jewelry. Yeah. And like I said, it takes, maybe it took us 3 weeks to a month, but we just whacked up, $300,000.
Yeah.
Between 3-4 guys. It's a nice little payout, $80,000 each, something like that. It's nice money. So that was, I have so many robberies, I'm not to brag about it, but that was particular one. And that's how we would do it. It's almost like you're hunting somebody. And that's what we would do. We would hunt you, watch you, stalk you, basically, and see when the right time is to hit you. And that's how we did it.
I'm going to address a question you asked me earlier about Tommy Karate, because everybody's constantly asking this question. There's a book about Tommy Karate's life. I forget the name of the book. And they mention in the book that he had a sit down with Gotti, and I was there, and they said at that time Gotti told him I already killed 6 people. So for the people that are keep asking this question, there was no sit down. I wasn't at no sit down. Tommy Karate never had a discussion with me that I couldn't go into a sit down. Now, for the people that also ask, did I rob Tommy Karate? Yes, I did rob Tommy Karate. I'll go back to the yes, I did. And the people who I robbed that had the drugs in their house, they're still very much alive. They have businesses in the neighborhood. I robbed about, I guess it was $140,000, $160,000. I knew it was Tommy's drugs. I didn't care it was Tommy's drugs. Phil Baroni, the cop, ex-detective that went to jail, was a cooperator. He was one of the guys that was with me on it. For the people that are questioning, he's very much alive. Keith Pellegrino, even though I tell everybody I don't care for the guy, he waited down the block, around the corner actually. He's too scared to even be on the block. He was in on it. There's a haircutting salon, I won't mention her name, but she's still alive. She was in the house, and she knows I robbed the house. She knows exactly what happened. They accused me of giving a guy a hot shot on that robbery and killing him. I did not give him a hot shot. I don't know if he really died. And Tommy is very familiar with me. While he was in MCC with Gotti Sr. in 1991, Gotti asked his brother Pete to relay a message to me to kill Dennis Harrigan for him. Now, Dennis Harrigan's family, brother-in-law, they all well aware of this murder. Everybody for the longest time thought I had something to do with that murder, which I didn't. I turned it down. I refused to kill him. because I believe Tommy Karate was involved in the disappearance of my friend Greg Ryder. And that's what made me want to go after Tommy and try to kill Tommy. And like any fighter or anybody in this business or any tough guy in this business or killer or guy that's active, we don't care who anybody is if you're legitimate on the street doing work. So when I hear this nonsense about Tommy, I know very aware of Tommy was. His next door neighbor that he used to go to Japan and fight with, Franco, was a good friend of mine. So I'm very aware of Tommy's whereabouts, how he moved around, everything inside him. And when you got weaklings, junkies, drunks, whatever word you want to call Frank Ganji, that he's just a weak guy that ran around for the guy and opened his door. So when guys tell me about Frank Ganji talking, Frank Ganji's just a jerk-off, complete fucking clown that obviously he'd wipe his ass. So what Tommy told him to. So for the guys that talk like that, get your facts straight, because everybody knows I say, yes, I did, because I tell you who was there, where it was, how many people are involved. They're all alive. Go ask the questions and see if I gave a fuck of who Tommy was or anybody else when I was active. And these same guys I keep talking good about, Cookie, Anthony, or Fabi, or any of these guys, ask them, because they were my enemies. I give them the credit they deserve because they were legitimate tough guys. I like them. We're all out of that life. And these guys will tell you exactly how I am, if I talk shit or if I really did the stuff I say I did. But I'm naming names. I'm making it very easy for everybody to check it.
Right. And I want to get into, somebody keeps asking me about Pudgy and the situation that happened with him and when he was robbed. And if I gave a brief story, I want to make this clear. Me and Pudgy were good friends. He was in my crew. He was a big earner. That's what he was. That was his role. He gave money. Tough? No. He had no capability. He was not a fighter. That was not his role. Now, I'm not knocking him. Sometimes I might come at him a little hard. It's because I know what he really is, and he's not a fighter. He's not anything like that. A particular incident did happen. You keep asking about. He was tied up multiple times, but on one occasion they tied his wife up, and they did something bad. They did something kind of on a sex offender level. Nothing like too bad, but they slapped her in the butt a little bit, and they did. And years later, we went to war over that situation pretty much. I know I had shot Chris over it. We tried to kill him, whatever, but there was more people involved. And later on, we had found out who actually was in the house and tied his wife up and slapped her in the butt. And I brought it to Ronnie G, and Ronnie G gave the green light. He says, but if Pudgy don't want to come with you and do it, that's it. If you're more worried about it than he is, then we're not doing it. I went and got the stolen car. I had a family member that steals cars in like 30 seconds. Hysterical. Not getting into that. So I had a stolen car. I grabbed multiple guns. I spoke with Pudgy. And this is why I lost so much respect for him. I says, listen, we got the guy. I know who was in there. I know who tied your wife up. Ronnie gave us the green light. We could do what we want. I says, you drive. I'll kill him. I'll shoot him. I got no problem with it. I don't care. I've done so many shootings. It's nothing to me. He goes, no, Gene, no, not now. I says, what do you mean not now? I says, bro, the dude tied up your wife. Nobody would ever dare do that to us. Like, this is embarrassing. We got to get this guy. I know who he is. He's my friend's father who did it. I know who did it. I says, we could get this guy. I got the drop on him. We'll cream this guy. No, I'm making too much money now. That goes to show you, and that's why I lost so much respect for him. Now, you're more worried about making money than revenging the guy that tied up your wife and disrespected you like that? And you want me to sit here and respect you and talk about the mob, this and that? Ronnie G gave the green light. He gave us the blessing. Get him. Get him. We got the okay. Get him. Ronnie's a skipper at the time. Get him. Okay. We got everything. All the tools, everything ready to go. He don't want to do it. I went back to Ronnie. I says, this guy don't want to do it. He goes, what a ballsless bastard. That's the exact words. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not attacking, but I keep it real with people. That's what he was. He was a money guy. Nothing past that. Anything past that, he wanted no part of it. And that's the God's honest truth about my opinion of him. Was I good friends with him? Yes. Did he make money? Money. I'm talking about 1.5 million a year. He was making that kind of money. He got big cash, but no balls. And that's the God's honest truth of my opinion of facts that I'm stating about him. That's all it is. Him being a made guy, no business of it. There's no business in the life. But that's what it is today. And that's all.
Well, guys, it was nice talking to you again. Everybody, that wants to hear any more questions, any more stories, We're going to do this on a once-a-month basis. We're going to answer questions. We're going to tell you some stories. So write us again if you want any other stories that you want to know about or questions that everybody's interested in. And remember, it's hard to answer all these questions. We're getting them from websites. We're getting them from DMs. We're getting them from Facebook. We're getting them from other people. We're getting private messages and texts. So we're going to try to get to as many questions as we can as we keep going with this. Everybody have a blessed weekend.
Take care.